Good afternoon, my name is Courtney Erickson, and this is my final project for Southeastern University's Critical Issues in World History class taught by Professor Gill. The purpose of this presentation is to explore the connections between the following four topics: science and medicine, religion and moral values, politics and power, and revolutions. Throughout this presentation, the relationships between these four concepts will be analyzed, and sufficient evidence will be provided to answer the following two questions. How do these concepts interplay and overlap throughout human history? And why is it necessary to understand these topics as interconnected facets? First, we will examine how science, religion, politics, and revolutions interact throughout history. This topic will be broken down into three sections: how science impacts religion, how religion impacts politics, and how politics impacts people. These concepts, as a collective whole, are a part of a cause and effect chain that interconnects all aspects of human history. Lastly, we will examine how the relationship between science, religion, and politics impacts the people, as disruptions or advances in these interconnected topics often result in revolutionary action. So, how does science impact religion? The scientific revolution was a period that marked a significant change in scientific thought. Previously, much of human thought was rooted in a reliance on the authority of the Catholic Church, which held absolute power over religious beliefs. The scientific revolution marked a shift from reliance on traditional beliefs to the use of scientific inquiry, reason, and observation. Science impacts religion through increasing skepticism towards traditional beliefs. One of the great scientists of the 17th century, Isaac Newton, as depicted in Figure 1, developed the scientific method. This method influenced individuals to question traditional beliefs by using scientific thought to discover the natural laws. During the 17th and 18th centuries, skepticism transformed religion through an attack on religion. This attack sparked questions of doctrines such as the geocentric model of the universe, as depicted in Figure 2, in which the world is at the center of the universe. This had long existed and was widely accepted as factual. But this reasoning fostered skepticism of existing doctrine and paved the way for the Enlightenment's emphasis on individual thought. Science impacts religion through the transformation of human thought, an increase in skepticism, and an attack on traditional beliefs. Now, how does religion impact politics? The American Revolution was inspired by the theological concept of natural rights. The philosophy life, liberty, and property, introduced by John Locke, heavily influenced the American Revolution thinkers, such as Thomas Jefferson, who built upon this theological framework from the Enlightenment and the Declaration of Independence. Theological ideas such as individual rights influenced the political pursuit of individual liberty. The Enlightenment's fight for religious freedoms led to both political and industrial revolutions, extending beyond religion and becoming a model for the protection of liberties such as the freedom of speech, press, and assembly. During the American Revolution, the protection of these freedoms justified breaking away from British rule, which had become an infringement upon those rights. The skepticism of religious tradition during the Enlightenment empowered American patriots to challenge political authorities during the Revolution. John Locke quotes that wherever the law ends, tyranny begins. This idea supported American colonists, who were under the rule of the British, to abolish and establish new governments. Religion impacts politics through the institution of foundational theological concepts, the protection of basic human rights as endowed by the Creator, and the divine justification to abolish any authority that has been overtaken by corruption. So, how do politics impact people? Politics directly and indirectly shaped people's lives through decisions on policies. To quote Ally Beth Stuckey, a Christian conservative author and podcaster, politics matter because policies matter, because people matter. Politics impact policies, and policies impact people. To me, this quote shows the interconnectedness of these facets. So often, Christians refuse to take part in politics because they claim that we have not been called to participate in these issues. And while certainly politics should not take precedence over our relationships with Christ, over evangelism and discipleship, it is impossible to claim that politics are unimportant. Policies cover concepts from economics to individual freedoms, and politics decide policies, which then determine laws on abortion, gender ideology, freedom of speech, marriage, and even education. When we involve ourselves in politics, when we inform ourselves on political issues, we can directly impact the lives of people, we can love our neighbors, and we can honor the Lord through our political choices and pursuits. Policies impact people through governments, policies and the values that guide political behaviors. And politics matter because policies matter because people matter. Revolutions are the result of changes in scientific, religious, and political thought. Changes in scientific thought led to the scientific revolution. The three internal causes of the revolution were all related to these changes in thought: newly acquired knowledge through motion research, investigations conducted by Renaissance humanists, the collapse of the traditional scientific framework. These three causes are a few of the many that contributed to the revolution of science. Challenges and changes to traditional religious thought led to the Enlightenment. Martin Luther, as well as other reformers, questioned the absolute power of the Catholic Church by teaching that the Bible is the only source of divinely revealed knowledge. This set a precedent for the questioning of dominant frameworks and established institutions. Changes in political thought inspired the American Revolution. Enlightenment thinkers such as Locke and Montesquieu introduced concepts such as the social contract theory, natural rights, and the separation of powers. While these theories affected the Old World, they also affected the New World, as they fueled American philosophy's beliefs that colonial assemblies should have the authority to abolish corrupt governments that abuse those rights. So, in conclusion, why is it important to understand the interconnectedness of science, religion, politics, and revolutions? This wheel represents the classical Christian education, and it is taken from Classical Conversations model, in which God is at the center. Each subject within education orbits around the center, and arrows go out to and from God and between each of the subjects. This model is meant to display how God has ordained each of the subjects, and how the study of each area teaches individuals more about the Creator. Studying the connections between science, between religion, policies, and revolutions reminded me of this model. These topics are interconnected, and God is at the center just as in this wheel. To understand creation, you first must know the Creator, who is truth. There must be a starting point with which you examine all interconnected topics and a lens with which you view the world. The deeper the understanding of creation, the deeper you will know and love the one who created it all. Thank you and have a blessed night. Ooh.